Hey guys, welcome back to the Comic Book Lowdown. I'm Wellington. Gonna bring you guys my pool week video, review video type deal. Earlier than I've been in a while, but still late. I was gonna do it yesterday, but I got caught up. It was Easter, and also happy Easter. If I didn't say it to any of you guys before, happy late Easter. And yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my review video. Thankfully, I had the days off, so I could do some reading of my books. Unfortunately, I couldn't do the video that same day, though, but whatever. And I've only got 5 books to review, and unlike my normal format for reviewing, books, I'm just going to review them. They're not in any order of pick of the week and least liked or anything, because in all honesty, every book I read was really good, actually. I enjoyed them all thoroughly, and so I just decided to not do pick of the week or anything this week, because it was pretty hard to decide what I was going to do. So I was just like, I'm going to cop out and not do it. So anyways, I'll get started with the first book, which is actually books, because they go together. That's Miss Marvel issue 2 and 3. Didn't get issue number 1 because my shop didn't have it, but thankfully Marvel does previously pages, so I could get the gist of what happened in the first issue and keep going. I'm going to get the first issue eventually. Whether I have to go online or another shop and try to find it or whatever I have to do. But I'm going to be on this book. I'm going to put it on my pull because I very thoroughly enjoyed both of these books and their covers as well. Even though she doesn't wear this costume, which I want her to do, because that'd be pretty cool. Anyways, I'm going to stop holding. I'll just hold issue 3. But together, I'll review them together. So if you're not familiar with this character, because she's a new character, her name is Kamala Khan, I think. Because again, I'm not. Yeah, Kamala Khan. She's a Pakistani American girl, 16. The usual type of character for these roles, kind of the outcast character who gets struck with superpowers, and she's pretty much learning how to deal. It's all really stuff that we've seen before. Spider-Man struck with the radioactive spider bite, and now he's struggling to hide his identity and things like that. Same type deal with here. She's struggling to hide her identity with being this new Miss Marvel, especially because the powers that she has is shape-shifting and kind of like, just shape-shifting. She can turn into other people, or she can shrink or make herself giant, but she can't control it, at least yet. She can't control it. It seems to happen only when she's in stressful situations. And, all that stuff is really good. I love the way, I'm not familiar with the creative team on here. I've not seen them before. But the way that they handle this, and that's G. Willow Wilson and Adrian Alfona on art. I'm not familiar with them, but the way they handle her character, superhero-wise, is very good. It's not totally original because obviously, I've just mentioned other times it's happened, but it's really entertaining, and it doesn't feel old. It doesn't feel like I've seen it before, even though I have. So that's really good. And then the fact that she's a Pakistani girl and you're kind of seeing the different customs. I mean, one, the fact that she's a female character, and there aren't too many female characters that have their own books that are emphasized in mainstream comics. And then 2, that she's a Pakistani girl, so that even makes her more of like a refreshing read of something new that I haven't seen, at least me personally. So all her personal life stuff is really good, and just getting into the story, she ended up saving somebody, one of the popular girls at her school that she's not fond of, and she has family issues where now she's grounded and things like that. But all this kind of big storyline all ties in to her trying to see whether or not she wants to be a hero, or just try to go about her life living it as normal as possible. And it's seeming like, of course, that she's going to take the superhero route. But something in this issue 3, the way this ends really seems to put like a stop onto all that. And I won't tell you what it is because it's a really good read. I definitely recommend Miss Marvel. Really refreshing book. 3 books left. The next book, really enjoyed for 2 different reasons. And the way they just shift, the way the writer shifts what's happening in this book is just awesome. And that's Nova issue number 16. Jerry Duggan, also writer for Deadpool, he does an amazing job with the comedy in this book. There's a lot of comedy, this is Beta Ray Bill and Nova, actually fighting against Captain Skarn and, defeating him, of course, and, doing, Skarn was trying to get some celestial weapons from this vault, and, they stopped him, of course, and the fight was funny, and, it was good. The first part of this book was all the humor and the lightheartedness and the fun and the action that I loved about this book. And then there's Beta Ray Bill, as they're parting ways, he gives Sam this speech of, kind of embracing the good times and recognizing that when the good times are good, to recognize that they are good, and but when they're bad, that they're always going to turn around for you. And it's this big speech that he's giving as Sam is going back home. And as soon as he gets home, there's a shift, and all the fun that was happening, the space and all this action, it all shifts, and it gets to a more human and grounded level where there's, human problems, and something that should be really hard for somebody to deal with as a 16-year-old, 15-year-old that Sam is. And it's going to really be hard on his family, and just a lot of different elements in this book. Also, Sam kind of in the fight with Skarn, he was like beating him to a pulp and kind of taking out all his rage. He's taking all his rage out on the bullies. So he kept on referring to Skarn as Moffat, who is Sam's bully at home. So he finally let himself go. And so there's a lot of elements in this book that really stand out, and this issue was a really standout issue. And I love David Baldion's artwork that he put for this book in these past couple issues. Really enjoy it. And so Nova number 16, really good one. This book, I'm going on a limb and saying that it was just good. Like, not because I had low expectations for it, and because I had low expectations, this book exceeded them. Yes, I did have low expectations for this book, but I feel like this book was just a good return to form. And that was Batman issue 30. This book, it's definitely been one of the better issues of Zero Year. There have not been many issues that are, standout issues in this whole story. So I'm hoping that this book turns around and delivers a really good story in this final act. And it's kind of Bruce Wayne after he kind of lost the fight against Death and Riddler at the end of the last arc. This is him returning to consciousness because he was saved by some kid, returning to consciousness and seeing what has happened to Gotham and its complete jungle. Looks like Swamp Thing kind of had his way with the city because it's just green everywhere, really bad place. And this issue gets us familiar with what the Riddler has done to the city, and I think it's really entertaining. Just the dialogue in here wasn't too wordy. It wasn't Scott Snyder going crazy over everything. It was just the right amount of dialogue with the right amount of interesting story. And the artwork, I always feel Greg Capullo's art is good. I know some people have said otherwise, but I'm a fan of his art. So this book all around, I can't go into serious detail without making the review for this too dense and too long. But I can say that I was thoroughly impressed with this book, and I'm hoping that it continues this way throughout the final act of Zero Year. And then finally, last book, Superior Spider-Man issue 31, and I got a variant cover to it. Get it out of the glare. I got a variant cover. This is a Peter Parker Spider-Man book, first one in a while, and it's very refreshing. We get the final fight with the Green Goblin. We get, what made me happy about this is that the right people, that Peter tells the right people what happened, that Doc Ock stole his body, and that for all that time, that was not Peter Parker. He tells the right people that. So he tells Carly Cooper that, he tells Mary Jane that. He tells all the right people. We don't mess around and wait till later and have me wait and all this kind of stuff. They did it at the right time, which was right away. Love that part. And then the action here was great. Just seeing Peter Parker do his thing. Oh, he also told Miguel O'Hara, the 2099 Spider-Man. So that was important too to me, because just the bad taste and the bad relationship that Doc Ock Spider-Man had left between the two. I really wanted that to be settled, and it was settled right there, and it made for a really cool team up in this book. And just seeing Spider-Man in his real costume, the classic Spider-Man costume, was very refreshing as well. Kind of at the same time, Peter embracing a little bit of what Doc Ock was doing, technology-wise, kind of embracing some of the things that he's used, and then also doing the things the way he does and making his presence known in a good way. So just everything about this book, there was the right amount of action, dialogue was great, the drama was great, comedy was great. Dan Slott did awesome job bringing Peter back, and I couldn't be happier to have Peter back. And then this is the final Superior Spider-Man book, and then we get into The Amazing Spider-Man with issue 1 again. So It's going to be a great new start. A lot of things happening with J. Jonah Jameson as well. That's the dramatic parts. So much goes on in this book, and somehow Dan Slott has really fit everything in. I used to be one that was saying Dan Slott needs to hop off the book, run's getting too long. But Dan Slott definitely proves in these past arcs, I would say from the 2099 arc, but for most people, starting from the Venom arc onward, he's just done fantastic work. And I'm glad to see him start The Amazing Spider-Man and keep going with this vision, this plan that he has. I would definitely still like to see Christos Gage would be my pick to come in and write, but he actually writes the second story in here. There's 2 stories. He writes that one, and just to see him get on some more issues, and yeah, that's really it. So that's all the books. I'm happy to get this video out more on time than usual. Thank you to the people that are continuing to watch me and supporting my channel. I really appreciate you guys, and that's really all I have to say. So I'm Wellington signing off for the Comic Book Lowdown, and I'll see you guys next time.